All right, my man, today is Tuesday. It is November 8th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports here with Chief. Chief, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ed. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm having like an eye situation, and I can't figure it out.
You got the twitches?
No, remember the other day I had the glasses. Last week I had the glasses on.
You did.
Because I had the light sensitivity, which is not new. We've been talking about this for a year now. I can't figure out the fuck's wrong with me. And now my eyes are watering. I bought some Claritin. I have a episode coming out either tomorrow or Thursday with Erica. Like a really nice sit down that's an hour long. That's pretty interesting. I think a lot of Barstool fans will like. And I look like a crackhead. It's unfortunate.
You got the fall G's going?
What's that mean?
Just the fall allergies?
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope that's only the case. Maybe I'm just sick. That could be the case too.
Is it possible that you're just a perpetually sick guy?
No, I don't think that's the case.
Light bothers you. You got crackhead eyes. You need blue light. I don't know. We need like a full breakdown.
Full on kit. I need that 10X guy.
We need to send you like the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
like, we need to run all the tests.
The fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
But yeah, so to answer your question, I'm not great, but we're going to power through. We're going to give people a good show.
Good. I like that.
Hey, before we get cooking here, I do want to talk about our friends at Innovative Care. If you're getting your ADHD medication and it's a total headache, it's time to switch to Innovative ADHD, okay? Innovative is a real medical clinic, not one of those online refill-only services. They're based here in Chicago and medical providers you can trust. You'll definitely want to use them for your ADHD management, but you can also turn to Innovative for other things related to primary care or urgent care. You can simplify your ADHD management with Innovative. After your initial appointments, you can see your provider virtually through telemedicine. Innovative ADHD accepts insurance for evaluations and medication refills. And finally, ADHD, they have all their care is done with dignity and compassion. And I can confirm that. I had a couple COVID tests done there back in the height of COVID, back in 2020, 2021, and they always did do it with dignity and compassion. So a big thing about them as well is they take insurance. A lot of companies don't do that. So if you have insurance and you need your ADHD medication filled up, make sure you're checking these guys out. So try it now at innovativeadd.com. Remember, you must be a resident of Illinois. One more time, innovativeadd.com. They do take insurance. One more time. All right, let's get into this show. We're talking HAARP today?
HAARP.
We ain't talking the beer.
No.
We're not talking.
We're not talking the beer.
We only talk Miller Lite on this show.
That's because they're the best.
They are the best.
Yeah.
But
great tasting, less filling, 96 calories, all of that. What else you want to know about it?
No, not a sponsor today.
Okay.
But we'll get into
I'm still going to talk about it and drink it.
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We will always talk about it.
But this is not the HAARP beer, although I do like their logo.
Yeah, nice.
It's an Irish beer, the Irish HAARP.
It's just a fucking harp. Is that like who plays the fucking harp?
I don't know, but that became like one of the symbols of the Irish resistance against the English, like the uprising was the harp. They used to, like, before they had like the green, the white, and the orange flag that everyone knows as Ireland, they had just like a plain green with like a golden harp on it.
Oh wow.
And so that's where that comes from. And the Guinness logo has a harp on there as well.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, I don't know. Do you know if you're
How about that? It's all about the fucking bagpipes that are the macho Irish instrument. People get the harpers walking out there.
Bagpipes are fucking great though. Do you know, have you seen Irish dancers before?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I went to a wedding.
It's a big deal around my parts.
I'm sure. You're a minority up there.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, there's
the talent. Yeah. But so I went to a wedding over in your neck of the woods. This is the infamous Elton John night, and I didn't get any shit for not going to Elton John because I had a wedding. And but you know why that they dance the way that they dance?
The Irish dancers?
Yeah. With it's just their legs flailing about.
Yeah, and they're just kind of penciled against their legs.
You're right, exactly. It's because the English had outlawed dancing. And so as like an act of rebellion, they would do all these fucking jigs like behind a bar, behind a table, so they couldn't see their legs. So you look at them up top and there's not a lot going on there. And then below deck, it's just like a fucking free-for-all, limbs everywhere.
Oh.
It's a little fact.
It's a good fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
So we just celebrated antiquated styles of dance.
Yeah, that's what this episode's about, is it not?
That was a good left turn, as our friend Large would like to say, though, into our real point of discussion about HAARP.
HAARP. Okay, so HAARP is an acronym. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. And this is a place that exists. It's a U.S. government funded project. It was built in 1993 in Gakona, Alaska, which is just a little bit north of Fairbanks. So it's way the fuck up there. So you know where if you look at a map of Alaska, like Juneau's like kind of down the coast a little bit of British Columbia, then a little bit further north of that is Anchorage, Alaska. Then the only other major city, quote unquote, is Fairbanks, which is way up in the middle. And then above this is where this site is. And like I said, it was a joint venture to create this area between the United States Air Force, United States Navy, DARPA, which if you listened to the show yesterday, Chaps went into DARPA a little bit, and University of Alaska Fairbanks operates it now. And this is one of those ones where like I read it and it's like, okay, like if you dig into this a little bit, like I have a hard time believing that this is a conspiracy theory that if you do research that you can actually believe in, because the things that they say that this site can do. And if you look at it, it looks like a bunch of these electrical, like a power grid kind of station, or like these like telephone poles type things. And it's big. Okay. So it's 180 antenna, like in a square over an area, and they're all kind of connected over an area of 24 acres. So that's like it's a big area. So I think an acre is roughly the size of a football field. If I'm Harry, we need Harry to be a Jamie sometimes. And so I think that's roughly that size. And I understand why people would get all nuts about this project, because there is like some evidence and some like nefarious figures and mysterious things that go on that are like, something's going on there. But this thing has been attributed with all sorts of powers that are just like will boggle your mind. People say it can control the weather, like weather patterns. People say that it is a cause for global warming. The president of Venezuela, the former president, his name Hugo Chavez, who was like a big enemy of ours for a while, I feel like in the news. He blamed the earthquake in Haiti. Remember the huge earthquake in Haiti in like 2010? He blamed HAARP for that. HAARP has been... people say that it can be used for like mind control, kind of like 5G in a way. They can make flights crash or disappear. And it allegedly can set the atmosphere like on fire if you wanted to. So it was like, okay, like that sounds utterly preposterous. And then you read into it and you're like, okay, like you guys, like, it's like if you read a little bit, and this is the thing that's like, it's a widespread conspiracy. It's not just the United States. It's like a thing that's all over the world. Like we said, Hugo Chavez did it. There was a electrical facility on a farm in Brazil that people were so convinced that it was another HAARP station that they like knocked it all down. So it's on tape. Like you could pull the video where these guys were like going nuts and like in the rainforest, being like, this is a U.S. government thing. And then they knocked down these towers, and it was just like some fucking farmers trying to like power his like equipment in his field. But then people were convinced. And like I said, like there just are like some of these, there's weird things. Okay. Like why the fuck do you have this crazy instrument location way up in the middle of nowhere, Alaska? What are you hiding? Okay. That's a weird thing. DARPA. So Chaps mentioned DARPA, and he talked about them as like this group that like, was
it the microwave group?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I was intrigued by them.
Right. So this group, so DARPA is also an acronym. It stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and it's like the research and development arm for the Department of Defense. So it's like one of those things where if you look online, it'll say their annual budget is like it's listed at $3.4 billion. Okay, in 2019, that's what they said the annual budget was for DARPA. But it's part of the Department of Defense. So you don't really, like, no one really knows exactly what the Department of Defense's budget is and where the money goes and this and that. So, but there are things that DARPA has done. I'm going to list them off just to give you an idea, because if they're able to do all these things, it makes you think like anything is possible. So they had come up with these robots that they wanted to put out in the field. And it's like, man, like we're having this issue of like, how do we keep these things powered if we want to leave them out there for an extended period of time? And because the batteries run out, the solar panels are unreliable, whatever. They designed a robot that will eat plants and then use like organic matter, organic material to power the batteries that are in that are running these robots. So like I haven't heard of that before. So that's fucking crazy. They had come up with a way to basically, if you're in a forward position in Afghanistan, you ever seen the movie documentary called Restrepo?
Restrepo.
Yeah, it's about these guys fighting in Afghanistan.
I don't believe so.
So, and there's a few ones like this where I'm sure people have seen it, where you're out on the way forward edge of the line, okay, and you're trying to set up a station, and you're digging out like latrines, you're digging out like basically a foundation to be able to build shelter, okay, and build barracks and things like that, and build like a fort, right? And when you're building those things, that's when they like, at least in that documentary and other ones I've seen, that's when you're getting attacked like the most, because you're still pretty vulnerable. You're on the far edge of the line, and you're basically there doing construction work, and then every couple hours you're in a firefight. So they designed this thing that was like, we're going to be able to have 3D printing of like basically entire buildings. So they've done that. They've done lab-grown blood. So they figured out a way to like synthesize how red blood cells work in a lab. So it's like no longer do you have to like rely on, blood transfusions and blood transplants and all that. It was like, no, we'll just make it in a lab. Fucking crazy. Spy bugs. Okay. And these, like, you can find these online too. There's like these little like insects that you can use to spy on people. And it made me think of the guy who's like, birds aren't real. Okay, have you seen the birds aren't real guy?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, so like it's like a mockumentary conspiracy or a mock-you conspiracy. I don't know what he wants to say, but it's like this kid like runs this whole thing called Birds Aren't Real, and it's like kind of funny. He's like, oh, CIA got rid of all the birds, and all the birds you see are just like these mechanical spy devices. Well, like birds pretty real. I killed a turkey. That thing was alive, guaranteed, until I got in front of it, and then it was dead. But the bugs, like people, they have made these like spy bugs that they just float out there. Brain implants for PTSD. Okay. You ever seen the movie with Denzel called Manchurian Candidate?
I'm very familiar with it, but I've never seen it.
There's like this scene where they like, he's in like a dentist chair almost, and they drill into his skull, and then they just drop in this implant, and they're able to like control his brain with it. Not that that's what this is, but like they're working on brain implants.
Fucking Neuralink, man.
Fuck yeah. I'm very afraid of Neuralink. A nuclear powered spaceship.
It's because you're gonna have to get it, and you know it.
I'm not getting it. You're
gonna have to.
I'm not getting it, man.
You're gonna have to.
No, not getting that fucking Neuralink. Not gonna do it.
I'm getting it.
Why?
You're gonna have to, dude.
Says who?
You're gonna get lapped.
Then I'll just be I'd rather be a bum with my own brain. Flying submarines. So you've seen like these, that's like a lot of the, what do they call UFOs now? UAPs? Have you heard of those? They like changed the name.
It's ATP, aerial threat, or something with a threat in it. It's
okay, ATP.
I don't like that. I feel like the fucking toothpaste is out of the tube. Change the name on UFOs.
Well, yeah, and so I think that's one. I think UAP is one too, and it's like I started seeing that on the internet. I'm like,
unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah.
I know all the acronyms.
Okay, all right. So they got those two things. Okay. I just Googled UAP. The first thing that came up was most UFOs are Chinese surveillance drones. Not great. But they created these flying submarines. So it was basically this thing, and this has been something that Navy pilots have reported, where it's like they have these crafts and then they just go underwater. And it's like, well, they're fucking gone. Like, what happened to those? And so I'm wondering if this is just like, and they don't know what it is because they don't have the clearance, but they see these things that are hovering around, flying around the air, and then they DARPA below water. That could just be a DARPA project. So DARPA, it's like anything that they're involved in, let your brain run wild, because that's what their job is to they're basically the science fiction arm of the Department of Defense.
Was an Eisenhower project, huh?
He created DARPA?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't know that, but
You're
yeah,
a big Eisenhower guy, right?
Dude, I love the interstate highway system. and I love defeating Nazi Germany. If you don't love those two things, then I mean, how do
We
you
gotta
not
do
love
an
Eisenhower?
Eisenhower episode.
We should do an Eisenhower one.
I know. I remember you like one time you like started talking about Eisenhower, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I'd love to know a lot more."
We should. When's his birthday?
About Dwight D. His birthday is 1953, January 20th.
All right, let's do it for his birthday.
That'd be nice.
Come around after the holidays.
Jan 20.
Yeah, you know.
No, that's when. Excuse me. That's when he was. Hold on. I hate the presidents because it's always fucking a million in office dates.
Born October 14th.
14th. Yes,
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
missed it. Sorry,
yeah.
my apologies.
We'll just do it on Inauguration Day or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Dwight D. He was also like a big time football player for a minute at West Point.
Yeah.
Blew out his knee. But yeah, Eisenhower the best, and I guess he did DARPA too.
Hey, let's take a quick break here because I want to talk about the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. And you guys already know that it's the Gametime app. It's created by fans for fans. Gametime is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Gametime a shot yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys are going to love this app. We've had tons of Barstool fans using it, hitting us up on social about the great deals that they're getting, and great deals coming up. I think we're looking at maybe going to the Packers-Bears game this season. Bears are obviously playing well. Doesn't show up in the win-loss column, but it could be nice there to see a nice stomping of Aaron Rodgers by Justin Fields. So I'm eyeing that one right there. I think I might be hitting the Gametime app for that one. So if you download the Gametime app and you go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase, you will receive you will get $20 off for your first purchase. And terms do apply on that. Just make sure you're downloading the Gametime. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, let's hop back into the episode.
And so DARPA's been around forever. And then so they built this thing up in Alaska in 1993, and they operated up until I think I know that they were supposed to, like, Congress passed a bill saying that, yeah, we're done with DARPA in like 2014 or something like that. So they were winding it down. I'm not exactly sure the status of it now. But it's been like this ongoing thing, and it's run by, like I said, the University of Alaska, Anchorage, and Vice News did a piece on it maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And they show this, like, I mean, she looks like a fucking librarian. And she just answers the show, oh, hello, this is University of Alaska Fairbanks. And it's some, like, nut job calling in from, lower continental United States being like, I know what you guys are doing up there. And she's like, sir, like, my name is Gertrude and I work for the University of Alaska. And she's like, yeah, like, they call at 5 in the morning because they're way behind. It's like really annoying problem. And, like, they block numbers and this and that. So it's like this crackpot kind of conspiracy theory, and it's a thing that it's like, well, it's got to be HAARP. And you see, like, people really blame a lot of natural disasters on it. When there was like crazy flooding going on in Germany, that was like a trending thing. Oh, this is because of HAARP. And it's like this international, everybody around the world is like, something's going on with this fucking HAARP. And you're like, mind control, weather, fucking, altering communications, shutting down communications. Like, what is this thing can just do everything? And then you're like, that's fucking impossible. Like, throw it away. And then you read more about it. Okay. And it's basically, if you read the patent, okay, there's this guy who worked for a company called ARCO. His name was Bernard J. Eastland. And he was like a physicist who worked, for the government. He's an MIT trained. He's a brilliant, like, nuclear physicist guy who has had other, like, kind of big projects where they were able to take, like, nuclear waste and repurpose the nuclear waste into another form of energy. Like, he's a brilliant guy. So he came up with this HAARP idea, and he filed a patent. He got the patent approved, and the patent is. What he got patented was both the method and the equipment for and this is like in the patent report, altering a region in Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, and magnetosphere. Now, I tried to understand what the ionosphere was because I kept, like, if you read through this HAARP, ionosphere, and I was reading these things. And I even saw, like, another thing be like, to really understand HAARP, you have to understand the ionosphere. And I tried. It's beyond me. It's like something out in space. And if you look at like Aurora Borealis, that's like the sun is like, it basically comes in and you have like this type of atom and then it splits in the ionosphere, and that's what creates like light and heat.
Gotcha.
But like how it actually, where it actually is and how, I don't fucking know.
So like yesterday in layman's terms, when White Sox Dave tried to tell me to watch a Civil War doc to explain it to me.
I need like the physics in layman's terms.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I can't personally like explain it. If someone wants to go and look, or, you know, sometimes we have like physicists and like other like experts in their field will like DM us. If you're one of those people and you know how to explain the ionosphere to a moron like me, I'm all ears. But that's basically what they said. So this guy in that patent, he's like, I can, you know, it's for altering a region in the sky basically. And in the patent, it claims that it can disrupt communication around the planet and between satellites. It can disrupt the path of, and this is just like in language, like legal documents in a patent. It can disrupt the path of ballistic missiles. So, you know, Russia sends a fucking nuke. We'll just blast it in the ionosphere with our fucking HAARP machine, and it'll go somewhere else and not New York City, theoretically, or just redirect off into space. It can create a lens effect. So it's shooting these radio waves, concentrated radio waves up into the sky, and it's altering and disrupting like the ionosphere. And it's like this process can create so much, and again, all this is like written in the patent. It can disrupt this ionosphere so much that it's almost like a magnifying lens where the sun's rays go through, like you're zapping a fucking ant with a magnifying scope. Okay, so like you can let that much energy get through the ozone layer and all these everything that deflects a lot of the sun's damaging UV rays and everything, you can kind of like blow a hole in that temporarily and get that stuff down. So like it would be a global warming thing. Mm-hmm. So it has all these different things that it can do, that it says it can do. And then you're like, well, fuck, they must be doing it. Okay. So then you like read further and it's like, okay, so that thing, what I say was 24 acres.
Yeah.
In order to like actually apply the science, to make all these things go forward, you would have to have this HAARP not be the size of 24 acres. It would have to be the size of Houston. It would have to be literally the size of Houston to have that much power to cause these effects. So it's like, in theory, like this patent could do all those things, but it would have to be like this enormous thing that like bigger. And it also like, you just couldn't do it. And then it would take so much energy to power it. It would take 100 gigawatts. And again, I don't know shit about gigawatts. I know that you needed 1.21 to travel back in time. So if they're 100 times more than that,
Doc Brown on the clock tower.
Exactly right. A fucking electric bolt of lightning. So otherwise it just doesn't work. And so getting 100 gigawatts to power this thing the size of Houston to blow a hole in the sky, essentially. And then that would be 27,700 times more energy than the HAARP in Alaska currently uses. And that would also be 9% of all energy used in the United States for a year would just be to power this station or to impact the weather and do mind control and all this shit. It would take 9% of all of our energy that we use in the United States every year. Wow. So it's just one of those things I don't think that you can hide. So it's like, it just gets like preposterous, and it can't possibly be in use for all the things that everyone says it's in use for.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just operated by University of Alaska Fairbanks. And they are studying things, and it does, like, they've been through this, they've been able to have like better communication with deep sea subs, and they have a better understanding of like how energy travels through the upper atmosphere if you're trying to send satellite images, and it's had like some real world benefits through studying how that works. But it just like, and in theory, if you made this mega one, it could fuck everything up like the patent says, but it's just like you could not power it. So, but it's like if you just skip that part, you're like, well, they fucking did it.
Yeah.
And so it's a very interesting thing, and I understand where people are coming from, but it's like we would fucking know.
Yeah,
you can't hide something the size of Houston, I don't think.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
And you can't use 99% of all of America's energy on it.
This is off topic, but you said submarines.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather go on a submarine than go to space. Is that crazy?
I have to think. Why do you say that?
Dude, I don't know. I'm just so intrigued. Like, if I'm able to see shit, assuming I'm able to see, like...
No, there's no light down there.
I know, but, like...
You want a glass-bottom submarine to look at darkness?
Well, like, I want, like, a good fucking... I want technology to make, like, good lighting down there.
Okay.
Like, a good...
Have you ever seen any, like...
I want fucking Buffalo Bills light to see... to see what's going on.
Have you ever seen, like, U-571 or Hunt for Red October or anything like that?
I've seen Alvin
and the Chipmunks?
No, from Titanic, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like, those to me, like... And I'm not a person who gets, like, claustrophobic. You want to know how simple and stupid my brain is?
Why?
I want to go to space so I could do, like, the float around astronaut thing where everything just floats. And
Yeah, that'd be... No, see, I don't think that's simple at all. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You don't think, though, that'd be, like, to get under there and just be, like, fucking... like...
See,
just to see what the fuck is up. I mean, like,
I think
I don't want to get
might
Moby
be-
Dick and get swallowed up.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd
Pinocchio's.
like to... Yeah, dude, that'd be fucked.
Yeah.
That'd be fucked.
But I don't... There's just the idea of just being like...
that
I think I'd
Pinocchio?
rather die in space.
Yeah?
Like float off and just be like... And you just essentially just suffocate or explode, your eyes pop out or something. But, like, the idea of having something go wrong and your sub just, like, sinks to the bottom of the ocean... And then you're just trapped down there waiting to die.
Yeah.
Give me the instant death.
I get the logic is fucked because I've said before how terrified I am of the ocean, and I think that's the worst way to die because how dark it is.
Yeah.
And, like, especially, like, underwater caves, fuck that. So much of the fucking...
Well, imagine...
sea life, like, it's...
Yeah. So imagine, like, your engine goes out. And so you're just and you just sink.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Dude.
But your lights are on. Okay. Because you still have battery power or something. So now you're just, like, waiting, like, fuck. And then eventually your battery power runs out. And all the lights in the sun.
Fuck you, dude. Don't do that to me.
So now you're at the bottom of the ocean, complete darkness, and then you start to get cold. And I think eventually you're just going to probably go so crazy that you'll just pop the lid of that thing. But you won't be able to because there's too much pressure.
Yeah.
Give me outer space death. And then you're like the guy who died in space.
See, that's fucked up, though. You instantly think death. Like, I'm saying, like, if everything goes right.
So, yeah, I think that's stupid, too. At least in space, you can look at stars. You can look at the Earth.
Yeah, but there's still, like, you know, they say the ocean is, like, very unexplored.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. Because it's, like, it's impossible to get down there.
Just picture that, dude. You could just see what the fuck's going on down there.
Have you seen
fucking
those?
see Shackelford's fucking
They
route?
found it.
His route?
They found the boat.
Yeah, but his, like, route. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Antarctica and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
It'd be crazy, dude.
it would be crazy. It's also just like those. I think the scariest creatures on the planet are those fish with the crazy teeth that can light up at the bottom of the ocean. The electric fish. Have you seen those? They're like
Yeah, I think I know what you're
translucent,
talking-
and then it's like that's I even if I'm in a sub, I still don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So, give me outer space. I'm going with Bezos or Musk.
I don't know, dude. Sub's pretty fucking cool.
I mean, like, hey Ed, we could probably figure out a way to get you on a sub.
You think so?
I think so.
I
bet you there's like what's that Navy training place up in Lake Forest? I bet you can. They bet you they have training subs up
Yeah,
there.
well, they're gonna like put me in a fucking pond in like Six Flags. You know what I mean? No, with all due respect.
Yeah, where the Navy SEALs train, and what chaps say, everybody who ever does basic training does it there. Okay,
That was a joke.
Red Ed hates the Navy.
That was a joke.
So
That was a joke.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
yeah,
We'll be at
There's
fucking
been
what's
like
the
a
Fox Lake? What's that bar in the middle of Barley?
yeah.
Or what's it called? Blarney's Island?
I do think that there's been a shit ton of shipwrecks in Lake Michigan before.
Oh yeah?
Pretty sure.
Like back in the day?
Even like kind of
Recently?
1,500 shipwrecks and 6,000 total in the Great Lakes. They get crazy storms and swells, and
Yeah.
you know what a siche wave is?
Can't say that I do.
It's just like a tsunami tidal wave, like fucking out of nowhere in the lakes.
What happens?
Yeah,
How often?
I don't know.
Once every 15 years.
And you just get swallowed up.
Dude, you're sleeping on fucking submarines, dude. That's fucked
I
up.
want no part of submarines. I don't like the idea that I can never get out. Like even if I die in space, I'm still like
Yeah,
I'm
but
in
I hope like
space.
the AC is fine and shit.
In space.
Yeah, but like
You
you're
need
not
more-
getting out in space, so you're still restricted by a big ass helmet.
I don't like that idea.
Yes,
the helmet.
exactly. Yes. Like you're not like free balling out there, dude.
You're not a space guy though, right? Like you don't watch space movies. Like what's the
no, not really. Like Armageddon's my.
yeah, Armageddon.
It's like the height of my.
But you
space.
never saw Apollo 13. What's
Yeah,
the one with
I
Clooney?
truthfully have no interest in space movies. Just don't care.
It's the last frontier, man. It's the last frontier.
Until fucking submarines are the new
Until we
deal.
build it, until Atlantis, we find Atlantis down at the bottom of the ocean.
Just
Those guys
wait,
are just
dude.
chilling.
Some smart guy's gonna be like, "Hey, dude, I share your passion for submarines."
You know what I would love to do though? If you've
What?
seen those like luxury hotels in the Caribbean where you can go on like a water slide and you go underneath
Yeah.
like the coral. Not talk to me about that. Or they have like the whole rooms that are on the bottom, and so you're just like down with the fish and then you're sleeping, and like that seems awesome to me.
That's what I mean. A guy died though doing that.
What?
He proposed to his wife.
Underwater.
Proposed to his girlfriend underwater, and he held his breath too long.
What do you mean? You're in like an enclosed glass dome thing. Like
Yeah.
you're in like a glass yurt.
Well, yeah, he just didn't come up.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, very sad.
She died too?
No, she was inside the room,
Oh.
and he surprised her. So she was like laying on the bed, and he went outside and he jumped in the water, and he and he was like, "Hey," he like opened the ring, and he didn't make it. Yeah, it's very crazy, very sad,
That is sad.
and it's
Totally didn't have to
end the
tell
podcast
myself not
that
to
way, yeah.
not to laugh while you were telling that story. 'Cause
Well-
that's just an absurd story.
You thought I was going somewhere else. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's not your fault. It's not serious. It's not funny.
it's not funny.
All right, that's it, Chief. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if Erica's airing tomorrow or if it's airing on Thursday. Everyone's out of town. We're recording this the weekend before, so I don't know.
I'm in New York right now.
Yeah, you're in New York right now. Everyone's gone. It's just literally me and Harry. So I don't know what the schedule is going to be like for the rest of the week. I don't know if we're going to have a free swim or not. So keep your eyes peeled.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. That's it for today. We will see you tomorrow.